Hello and welcome back, Eddie Radosevich, and we're here with Oklahoma head coach Skip Johnson for a special edition Stickball. Coach, welcome in. Big time for the program right now, obviously. Had the kickoff of the announcement for the donation campaign. The Kimray family, once again, being extremely helpful to the Oklahoma baseball program as well as the football program. $10 million, now over $15 million from the Kimray family for the new initiative, the Road to Omaha campaign. Just in terms of what the Kimray family has meant to the baseball program, just kind of talk us through what goes into that and just how generous this gift has been and kind of the kickstart for what's to come.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's breathtaking really for someone to reach out and help our program like that, and what they've done, Brian and Kim and their families done for our program for sure. I think what really sticks out to me more so is it's a kind of an odd story. We're sitting there, we're fixing to play a game. Kendall brings them in. Kendall Mayer works for Sooner Club, brings them in. We meet them, and we're fixing to play a game. And me and Brian start talking about bowling.
Sure.
And so we kind of hit it off. I used to bowl a lot, and he likes to bowl a lot. And so we kind of hit it off. And then, they kind of come to Minute Maid, watch us play. They're around the kids. They go eat dinner with us. It's kind of one of those deals. And we kind of brought them into the family, and they kind of could see what our family was really about and the culture of our team, and that's how it kind of started. And we can't thank them enough. I mean, they're giving back to, and they didn't even play there. They didn't play baseball there, and they're giving back to something that changed their life, and so they're going to be able to change their life by giving us to help the stadium and get this thing boosted and get it going.
It's an exciting time, obviously, for the University of Oklahoma baseball program, everything moving into the SEC. But there was also some news out there with you, just in terms of, I think half of social media had you taking jobs all over the country, but you're here in Norman to stay for the long term. Just in terms of building a program or continuing to build of what you guys have in Norman over at L-Dell, how important was that, and just the commitment moving forward from everybody within the athletic department?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of surreal, for a couple weeks there, going to Texas A&M. A lot of people had a lot of things to say, I guess, on social media. I never really looked at it too much. I can't control that. All I can do is control what I can control. So the biggest thing for me was I did an interview with Texas A&M, and I talked to them, and I went back and withdrew my name from the race there. I guess you'd call it a race or the job or whatever it may be. But I wanted to see this finished. I mean, we talk about family, we talk about corporation. That's kind of how I look at it. I mean, I wanted to stick with the Sooners because it's more like a family-owned business. I mean, the president's good, the Joe C's good, the administration, Greg Tipton, the sport administrator, my coaches. That's kind of how we've kind of started the culture. We have a compete mantra in our culture. The C stands for championship standard. The O stands for Oklahoma before you, and I kind of lived that. I stayed here and didn't move. M stands for mentality, P stands for process, the E stands for engage, the T stands for toughness, and the E stands for energy. So we kind of live that every day of what we go do, either recruiting or whatnot. I think I wanted to see it through. I wanted to see this thing through, get the stadium built. I mean, it's kind of, you start here and you work as you go through it. I wanted to see this thing come together, and when I first got here, we went to a regional. It was a little bit better. The fans have been more and more and more and more and more. I mean, last year, a regional tournament looked like a flea market out there. We had tents everywhere. It was
awesome.
Incredible. Yeah, it was crazy. Great atmosphere. And I want those guys to continue to support us because we're going to need that help. I mean, they're like the 10th batter or the guy that's in the bullpen or the 7th starter in a series. I mean, they help us a lot. And the more they get engaged with it, the funner it gets. I mean, it's what it is.
It seems like, now the move has officially happened with Oklahoma and the SEC. And I think that when you look at any of the regionals or you see some of the stuff up in Omaha, the fan support that is there moving into the SEC, obviously there's a bunch on the field, but the fan support and everything else that goes with it in the SEC, that kind of makes what is the best conference in the country.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. The brand is a brand. And to take OU into that conference was really big, and it's going to help that conference even more. And so you look at it, I mean, the first day of the draft was, I think, maybe 70 picks or something like that. I don't know the number. I know there were 19 players taken from the SEC, and I think there were 20 to 25 to 30 high school players, and 15 to 17 had signed with an SEC school.
Yeah.
So that tells you a little bit about that conference.
Sure.
I mean, it was astronomical above every other conference. And so that tells you what the conference is about. And baseball in that conference is like the environment's like a football environment.
Yeah.
I mean, you go in there and they're going crazy. They throw beer on each other. They're smoke billowing from the outfield. I mean, it's really. You go out there. I can remember because I had players when I was at Navarro play at LSU. I can remember going down there watching a regional, watch Brad Hott play, and Randy Kiesler that played for me at Navarro that went there. And I mean, the parking lot was full of tailgates.
Yeah,
you could walk out there and get crawfish etouffee to a Coors Light to whatever you wanted.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I mean, it was incredible, and we're walking into a baseball game.
Yeah.
It's no different than when we were in Omaha, and I painted the picture for our team when we went in 22. I said, here's what's going to happen. We're going to land, and there's going to be a charter flight sitting there. And they're going to come out and congratulate you, and you're going to be going in 2 buses to the hotel, and you're going to have a police escort, and it's going to be like Moses splitting the Red Sea, and they're going to take you right through the traffic to your hotel, and then when you're going to get out, everybody's going to be screaming and hollering for you to get on the bus. There's going to be a line, and they're going to be going through that deal, and you got to paint that picture so they can visualize that story, and it becomes a part of them, and that's what they practice and they play and they go as hard as they can, and whatever happens. You just got to go through that and keep that picture at the end. I mean, we talk about we want to play for a national championship, and how do we do that? We've got to have the right facilities. I mean, NIL money, all those things are involved in it, and we've got to catch up in facilities.
Sure.
And we've done an amazing job with what we had. Amazing job.
Obviously, Oklahoma, we've talked about development of players, and there's a number of players that have moved on from the program now, obviously getting drafted. 8 Oklahoma players getting drafted in this past draft, 6 in the top 10 rounds of the draft. Just kind of your thoughts, feelings on some of those guys, John Spikerman, Jackson Nicholas, a number of the Ryan Lambert, Bryce Madron, big-time guys that obviously meant a lot to this program moving on. Is that kind of, I think, at the end of the day, that's kind of what you get in it for, is to see these guys move on.
Yeah, I mean, I want to win national championship,
Sure.
right? There's no doubt about that. But what I really get out of it is getting a text from Jake Irvin. He pitched in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he sent me a text right before he walked in here about reading a book. That means I've done something to change that guy's life.
Sure.
And with Spikerman, Nicholas, Madron, Snyder, Lambert, all those guys getting the opportunity. Our job is to try to prepare them to be able to handle that environment as an adult, a young adult, because they're starting a job. And to handle that environment and be good fathers, good husbands. That's what makes me go. I want to win national championships. There's no doubt about that. But if I can if I can carve my name on their heart, and that's really what it's about, because I've done something to change their life. That's really what I'm in it for, more so than anything. And I think our coaches are in it for that too.
I think if you watch any of the Cape Cod stuff during the summertime, you guys have a ton of players up there. Obviously, the Witherspoon brothers were up there. Jackson's been up there, and Easton Carmichael both making the All-Star team. A really good core returning next season. Cam Johnson, who you guys pick up from LSU as well.
Yeah, I mean, looking at those guys, I mean, Kyson and Malachi playing with Team USA.
Yeah.
And then they went back up there. Kyson shut down. Malachi kept throwing. Now he's back home. And Jackson and Carmichael made the All-Star team. I think that shows you the nucleus of guys that we have. But go back to look at our team. I mean, we lost our left fielder, our center fielder, and right fielder. Mm-hmm. Our first baseman, our third baseman, our second baseman, and our Friday night starter. So we lost a lot of guys. Now, we've got to come in there and make what I'm excited about is bringing all these guys in and trying to build the culture, make sure they understand what the culture is. Those guys that are coming back, nobody works any harder than Jackson Willits.
Yeah.
Nobody works any harder than Carmichael, and Malachi or Kyson or all the other guys going back. They come in and they set the tone about how we go about our culture every day. That's exciting for me. When I stop getting excited about that, I'm just going to go fishing.
Which wouldn't be a bad option. I know you're going to hit a couple of them.
No.
As far as the Witherspoon brothers go and the Team USA stuff, how unique of an opportunity is that? And when you look at both of them coming back for next season, expectation-wise, it seems like that would be about as high as you could possibly get for a pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, when you grow up, I mean, you want to play for the team. You want to play for Team USA.
Sure.
You want to play for your country.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. I can remember Cavalli on his list of his goals, at the top of his list, Kay Cavalli had play for Team USA. It wasn't about or win a national championship at OU. That's what the first one was. The second was play for Team USA, and then the third one was to be a first rounder. I still have the list, and he got that opportunity. Sure. And those guys, when I walked in and told them that they got invited to Team USA, it was like, man, it was like calling a guy to the big leagues.
Cool.
I never felt that before, And so I can remember when I was in junior college, I was at Ranger Junior College, and I went over to the weight room, and I saw my name when I knew I made the team. I was excited. It kind of felt the same thing. So,
sure.
So it was kind of surreal for me. But I think those things are very important. There's no doubt about that.
How different is it for them that, obviously were a big part of your pitching staff a year ago, and somebody like a Jacob Golston, who was an Appalachian League Summer All-Star as well? It sounds like he's had a really good summer.
Yeah, he's still in the All-Star game He's still in the All-Star game tonight. I mean, Jacob fought through some deals. So he got through it this summer, we're flush it and get away with it, do away with it. Now he comes in a clean slate. Now it's time to him to take off. Sometimes those freshmen, it takes them a little bit longer. That's part of maturing. It's part
Sure.
of maturation. It's part of all the things that we talk about coming in here. They're not used to the 20-second clock.
Yeah.
They didn't have it in high school. They're not used to being away from home, getting 3 square meals from their mother. They're not used to waking up at 9 o'clock and going to weight room and then having to go to classes and then having to go to study hall before they go to practice. There's a lot of things that people don't really see that those guys go through every day. It'd be kind of if somebody'd make a movie out of it, it'd follow a guy's, whether it's Jackson Arnold, what's his day look like?
Sure.
And it'd be pretty cool to see.
As far as the transfer portal, obviously that's a big player in what college athletics just is as a whole right now. I know that there might be some guys that you can't really speak about right now, but just in terms of overall class and bringing guys in, how have you felt like that's gone over the course of the last couple months and moving forward and getting them into school and then obviously fall ball and stuff like that?
It was really good until the draft, and
yeah.
we lost a bunch of
Sure.
guys in the draft. But it's changed. So they made a rule. A couple of years ago, we could sign all these high schools, commit to all these guys early, like 15,
Mm-hmm.
16 years old. And so everybody in the country did that, right? And then all of a sudden, then you can't talk to them until August 1st. They moved it back. And we changed in that deal. But we already had all these other guys committed, right? And then it's changed now to the transfer portal. 2 months or 3 months, they see how that goes. And it's going to change again with the revenue sharing and the new lawsuit. So it's our transformation in college athletics is gone, especially baseball, because we've always had equivalencies. 11.7 is divided between 27 players or 32 players. That's a bad business plan. It's hard to deal with, and so you got to try to stick all those guys in. And we've always moved guys around our rosters. Coaches across America have done amazing things to get those guys under 32 and 11.7, and it's really tough. And so I think that's going to continue to grow and we have to navigate. There's been a lot of hard conversations with parents,
Sure.
with our coaches, like,
Sure.
hey, do we think this guy's going to get enough bats? Do we think this? There's a lot of things that transpire in that room in there. And, hey, man, we're going to bring this guy here. We might lose this guy if we don't bring him in. The right thing to do is the right thing for the kid. Either try to get hold of him earlier, and hey, man, you're not going to get enough bats.
Right.
It just is what it is. Or you're not going to get to play enough. Or you're going to take a guy. It's just like I said it to a guy the other day. And are you going to take a guy that's done 500 heart surgeries, or take a guy that hadn't done a heart surgery yet,
Yeah.
and do your heart surgery on your wife or yourself? Well, you're going to take the guy that's done 500.
A little bit of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's the same thing. That's what the transfer portal's done for us. It said, we look at him. This guy's had 400 at bats. This guy's had 0. Then if you can kind of match it up. I mean, look, in 22, Eddie, we played with 4 guys that were freshmen.
Yeah.
And we played with 2 walk-ons out there.
It's crazy.
It is. I mean, it's nuts. And what we did, I mean, it was really about our culture. But it was also about Jake Bennett,
Sure.
David Sandlin, Cade Horton, Peyton Graham. Those guys, they had a culture and they got after it, and we played really good.
It would seem that, you spoke about it earlier, but Jackson Willits, Easton Carmichael, that's a good core when you're going into what you guys are going into next season.
Absolutely. They understand the expectation. They understand how to work. And really, you don't play for an expectation. You play really against the baseball, and you're really trying to understand how to be more efficient. You're trying to mix and match. If we can do this with the right versus left, this lineup is better. OPS. There's things that you look at when you go in that deal. It's not nothing's perfect in baseball. That's what's
Sure.
great about it. It's an imperfect sport. So it's an imperfect game actually, and I think that's what's awesome about what we do as we go through it. You try to mix and match and making sure that they understand really. They have the unique ability to understand something more than life in life itself. It's when you go work for a company, you might necessarily not agree with what they do all the time, but you've got to do it.
Sure.
It's your response to it, and you can be selfless. You can help the company, and don't try to be the company. Just try to be a piece of the puzzle. Try to be a spoke on the wheel that makes the wheel roll right. Try to be the spark plug that starts the engine. Try to be the gas. Try to be the wheel. You don't try to be the whole thing at once. And if we can get kids to believe in a system like that, it's fun to watch. It actually gets spiritual at times.
Just as much as the fan support right now, and obviously that's one of the reasons that Skip is here today in the SoonerScoop.com studios. Once again, the Kim Ray family, what they've done, need more of them. They obviously it's a great start though, and if you are looking for more information on how you can donate to the Road to Omaha campaign, thesoonerclub.com, and once again, it feels like a lot of the different sports around here. In the athletic department, it feels like this is about as good of a time as any if you want to get involved and keep moving forward with what has been really good run here over the last couple of years, playing for a national championship 2 of the last 3 years, 40 wins, over 40 wins.
Yeah, we're really thankful. We're thankful for our fans. We're thankful for our state. And we're thankful for our maker. We're thankful for all you guys, what you do with the radio. We've got to be thankful every day. I think that's the biggest thing. And we need some support. That's the biggest thing. Money doesn't grow on trees. I get it 100%. We're going to try to put a product out there and play with passion. So you drive hours. I want to go watch that team play because they play hard. They play the right way. They respect the game. They respect the fans. They do everything else. That's what we do. It's
Sure.
like that. I've said it a million times, like that song, the David Allan Coe song, The Ride. Can you make people cry when you play and sing? Are you that good at baseball? Can you make people cry and they feel what you feel when you play? That's really what it's about.
Putting that regional feel into just a bottle. That was kind of, I think, why people get into the sport of college baseball. The scene out at Dell Mitchell Ballpark, and it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of fun here moving forward. Skip, we appreciate it. Happy to have you in Norman for the foreseeable future, and it's going to be a lot of fun as Oklahoma baseball moves into the SEC.
It's a great time. Thank you for having me, and I'll come on anytime you want.
Absolutely. He's Skip Johnson. I'm Eddie Radosevich for a special edition Stickball Report. We'll see you right back here on the SoonerScoop.com YouTube channel.
Boomer!